Do you know what time it is? It's time for another furniture makeover.
So this video is part one of 2 videos of this makeover because I had a little surprise at the end that changed everything. So be sure to watch the end of the video to find out more on that. So I bought this little Lowboy table from a thrift store for $10. And sometimes I wish that furniture could speak and tell us what exactly has happened to it over its life. Because in this case, this piece has had the top replaced for whatever reason, and there are random holes all over the tabletop. The base of this piece is a really nice solid wood Stanley brand piece, but the tabletop definitely does not go with it and has been replaced. Also, the drawer pulls are mismatched, and the person that put the other one on there didn't even bother filling in the old holes. So to start things off, I removed the drawers and turned this little guy on his back and gave it a quick little vacuuming out, and then I grabbed a screwdriver and started unscrewing the screws that held the tabletop in place. My screwdriver did not reach in the far back, so I couldn't get in there, so I tried using the sideways bit.
Okay, so because I can't fit my screwdriver down in there, I'm going to use this little tool.
I couldn't get it to work, so I ended up having to wait for Obi to help me out and remove it. Unfortunately, I didn't get a video of him taking it off. But anyways, we did get the top off, and let me tell you, this pressboard piece weighed a ton, and I could not believe how heavy it was. Now for the drawers, I removed the hardware that was on there, and then I filled in those holes that were in for the mismatched drawer pulls. Moving on, I gave this piece a thorough cleaning with a soapy rag, and then I came back with a clean wet rag to remove any soap residue. Then I grabbed some Kilz premium primer. I applied 1 coat of the primer to the entire piece along with the drawer fronts. I am going to be painting it using Waverly Inspirations chalk paints, and the color is Elephant. I really love this color. It is a really rich gray color, and I really love Waverly's chalk paints. It goes on really smoothly. It has great coverage. It has really good consistency in the coloring, and I just absolutely love their paint. So after applying 2 coats of the paint to the base and the drawer fronts, I am going to seal this piece using Varathane's water-based polyurethane. And I'm using this sponge. I got this sponge at Dollar Tree. I believe it's for applying car wax to vehicles. I have used this on several other projects. I really like it to apply sealer. It goes on really quickly and it doesn't leave any brush strokes. Because the drawer pulls on this are mismatched, I am going to have to buy some new ones. I did have a hard time finding any that would fit these hole sizes, but I was able to find these fully adjustable pulls. They were really easy to use. You just put the screws into the holes and then put the washer and nut on the back. Of course, my little guy had to help me out in doing that. Then you just slide the handle onto the screw heads and then tighten it down from the back. The color of these knobs are great. They look amazing against this gray color, and I really love them. So now for the tabletop. I am going to be making my own out of wood. So I measured the size that I needed, and then I got a Luan sheet and I cut it down to size. This is going to be the base for my wood top. Then using poplar wood, I stripped some boards down into the same size, and then I cut them down to smaller boards. I realized after the fact that I did not do a very good job filming while we made this tabletop, so hopefully this makes some sense.
Okay, so we are cutting these out and laying them out. This is actually a lot more difficult than I thought it would be. I knew it looked complicated, but I had a hard time getting started. Thankfully, my wonderful hubby helped me out here. But it is coming along great. And I'm thinking I'm just going to glue them down and then come up and from the underside and nail them once the glue has thoroughly dried. And then I'll sand it off.
So then we took the top inside, I grabbed some wood glue and started gluing all of the boards down into place. So like I said, this was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. It's kind of like making a puzzle and then figuring out how it all goes together. So it was definitely challenging, and it is not something that I probably would be able to do unless Obi had helped me out. So thank you, Obi. So I glued all the boards down, I let that dry overnight, and I took the top outside. I grabbed my nail gun and some short nails, loaded it up, and then I turned the top over and I got to nailing.
What do you think? Do you think I should put some more nails in there? There you go. Alrighty, now. It's not perfect. It's not perfect. But hopefully it'll look a lot nicer than what was on there.
Then I used a hand circular saw and trimmed down the extra cuttings of the boards along the side. And then I grabbed my hand orbital sander and I started sanding this piece smooth. Then, using some wood filler, I filled in the cracks as best as I could.
So you make trim to go around the edges, like this. So now I'm going to glue it on, and then we'll use clamps.
Been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays. Way back a year ago. I've changed for the better this time.
So after allowing that to set overnight, we removed the clamps.
Before we had put this trim on, we were moving this tabletop around a lot, so it kind of broke loose the wood filler that I put in the cracks, and it's kind of chipped out. So I'm going to refill these holes real quick and then sand this down. But I've got all the edges sanded and I've got all the boards nicely sanded, but now I'm just going to refill in where some of this wood putty kind of broke loose from just being moved around a lot. So let's get to it.
Way back a year ago.
After I let that thoroughly dry, I sanded it down again with my hand orbital sander. So now it is time to stain it, and I am using Minwax Wood Finish in the color Classic Gray. The stain was a little old, so that's why there's some clumps in it, but it still worked fine, and I applied just one coat to the tabletop. Because I'll be using a water-based sealer on the top of the stain, I had to allow it to dry for at least 24 hours before putting on the top coat. So I used my favorite Wooster brush and I applied 3 layers of the top coat. And as always, I will be sure to list all the products that I used down in the description box below. So I had just finished sealing this tabletop. I was ready to screw it into place, and then I went to my local thrift store and I found a matching piece. So this piece is very similar to the other one. The top has been replaced with a pressboard laminate. It has holes in it. The knobs are also mismatched like the other one. I'm not sure why, but there's like 4 different kind of knobs on here. So I'm going to be redesigning this and completely transforming these 2 pieces into one piece and turning it into a dresser. Or at least that is the plan for now. So be on the lookout for part 2 of this Lowboy and table makeover.
Way back a year ago.